Turkey is known, it's famous for its hospitality. In Turkey, a guest is like a king in your home, royalty in your home. When a guest comes into your home, the family does everything possible to make that person happy. If the guest says, oh, well, that's a lovely vase, you give it to them. You make them take the vase home because they're your guest. You make as many dishes as you possibly can, so there's copious amounts of food that they cannot possibly finish. My name is Beyhan Cagri Trock. I was born in Ankara, Turkey, and I came to the United States when I was 3.5 years old. For me, it was really hard being an immigrant, just an immigrant in the United States. I mean, back then, grocery stores didn't even carry yogurt. Yogurt didn't exist in America. We were always different. We never fit in. And I didn't really understand why until I was 15 and I went back to Turkey for the first time. And then I realized, oh, I'm not a weird person. I'm just an immigrant to the United States. And so that really started my trip back to who I was. I'm an architect by trade, and in 2008 the economy crashed. So I wasn't having any architecture work. I thought, what should I do? I'll just write down some recipes because my sons, Isaac and Tori, don't know anything about Turkey or Turkish food. And as I started to do the recipes, I thought, well, I should take pictures because they won't know how to make this stuff. And then I started thinking, who taught me this recipe? And I would reflect on my father or my grandmother or my aunt. And I would start thinking about, well, how did we end up in Turkey? Why is the Jewish food, why does it have Spanish names? And all kinds of questions came into my mind about food. And so I started doing a history book about where we came from as a family while I was also doing the recipes. I didn't know that the Muslim side came from China, and that we went across Central Asia, and we were like nomads on horseback. And I also hadn't really learned about the Jewish side and how we were kicked out of Spain during the Inquisition in 1492. And what that meant, leaving your whole culture. I wanted my children to know where they came from, who they came from, what their culture was like, what we eat, and how we are as a family and as a people.
Sokağa çıktım bitirdim, ona borç verdim, sustum sustum sus oldum, halbuki ben iyi bir dostum.
After I found out where we came from and how the foods developed from where we came from, I also could reflect on who taught me which recipe. And every time I cook something, I think about cooking with that person again. Like I make a dessert, it's called mahallebi. It's like a rice flour dessert, and you have to stir it for 45 minutes, literally. And I used to always stir it with my dad, and we would talk while I was stirring it. So every time I make mahallebi, I am visiting with my dad. And I think anyone can remember whoever taught them a dish. They always go back to that moment. So. I don't really consider myself a chef. I'm an architect. But I do know how to make these dishes, and it's Turkish family cooking. I'm not an expert at cooking. I'm not a chef. But I do know that.
Bana para lazım. Bana para lazım. Bana para lazım. Bana para lazım. Çekip gitmek için buralardan bana para lazım. Bir de yelken.